All right, we're back for episode 85. 85 of Digital Divination.
That's a big number.
It is. It's halfway to 90, and then 90's almost 100. So
Yeah, I mean, it's practically. Why don't we just call this episode 100 and just be done with it, right? It's
yeah,
practically
I don't
100
know.
anyway.
Yeah, it's funny. Speaking of 100, I've done all these interviews. I've done
Mm.
107 interviews now,
Wow.
and I'm going to get them all transcribed because I actually want to build a database and do a little
Right.
research based on what people have said in their interviews
Oh,
about how they got started in the business and advice they have, and kind of categorize that. But that's a big ask for
that's a
so
project.
many. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a there's a neat program called Descript that'll
Okay.
transcribe it pretty quick, but it costs a bunch of money, and
Hmm.
they limit you. Even their pro package limits you to 30 hours of interviews a month, which means
Wow.
it'll take me a while out there
Yeah.
for transcribing, 30 hours of transcribing.
Right.
Anyway,
Right. Right.
yeah, but we're almost there.
We're almost there. We'll get there.
We'll get there in 7.5 months.
Is that 15? Yeah. Okay. Fair
Yeah,
enough.
that's about 15.
Still,
So
that'll still be no. It won't be this year anymore. Well. Yeah.
get close. So
It'll be
how have you
close.
been doing, Jason?
I'm doing all right. I'm pretty pumped about watching a lot of video games previews this weekend. Essentially, there were a lot of like uh, uh, just trailer dumps, basically. There's going to be like a new open world Star Wars game, which looks pretty
Hmm.
cool.
Hmm.
And the big one for me is Starfield. Speaking of it's very Starfinder. It's a big
Yeah.
open galaxy from Bethesda. When that they announced it like 5 years ago, and the
Hmm.
logo was just the word Starfield in a circle. So I had my art. I was like, someone's got to Photoshop that into just Starfinder because it's practically the same word,
Yeah.
right? It's
Yeah.
got the
Yeah.
same, the first 6 letters are the
Yeah.
same. So I was like, and I had him do it, and it was just, and I've had that on my basically on the computer for a while since
Wow.
then.
Is that single player or multiplayer?
It's going to be single player,
Single player.
and that's good. That's good because
Yeah.
we always need. I don't know. I'm always for the single player games. I like the occasional co-op and the multiplayer stuff, but like sometimes people are just like, it's got to have a battle pass and it's got to be this, and I'm like, no.
Oh,
We could
oh,
just
I
have
hate
a
that.
single player
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
annoying.
Yeah, I'd like multiplayer, but I don't like having to pay a monthly subscription fee in order to cover
Yeah,
cost and do all that kind of stuff.
yeah.
That's one of the reasons why I really enjoyed Guild Wars, because they kind of were competing
Oh
with
yeah,
WoW, but without a subscription fee. Instead, they would pretty frequently bring out new content and chapters, and then basically have players pay for that. And
yeah.
then they went to some purchasable on content,
Hmm,
to
hmm.
to make some money, microtransaction stuff.
Yeah,
And you do what you got to do, I
yeah,
guess.
yeah. I mean, the running a MMO is got to be one of like the most expensive things to do, right? Like,
Oh man, I just read for a AAA MMO 300 million, half of
is
which
that
is
like,
marketing.
yeah, you
So
got to break through these days because
yeah,
there's just, I mean, that's the people. I feel like people have stepped back from the MMO. MMOs have become pretty much like free to play, all of them, and then
yeah,
you pay for cosmetics or whatever. But
because that's the model that's really working in Asia a lot, apparently.
oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I just read of a girl in China who went through $65,000 in mobile game creation.
Wow.
Somehow
Wow.
she got her parents' debit card number, remembered the
Holy.
password, linked it to her account, and
And it
just
just went. Yeah.
man, and didn't even know it, right? Didn't even know. Oh, purchase
Yeah. If
ad,
you
buy this for
don't pay
friends.
attention. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of scary. Speaking of which, this is as an aside related to this. So my daughter does contract work for Nintendo, and she's one
Mm,
of the people that helps kind of root out this sort of fraud stuff. Or was it
okay.
legit somebody took it, or was it a kid whose
Right.
parents didn't? And then how do you deal with all that kind of stuff? So it's like she thinks it's kind of interesting. I think it's It's got to be scary for anybody who's got kids to be, to see that kind of
Definitely.
stuff. Yeah, for
You gotta
sure,
be
for sure.
careful. Gotta be careful.
Well, that's exciting. I've been playing Diablo 4. It came out
Right, yeah.
here just over a week ago, actually, and I
Yeah.
had the kind of the the early access and stuff like that.
Right, you had an extra
And
week.
yeah, I was hoping I was going to really, really like it because a lot of people I know were playing. A lot of folks associated with Paizo
Yeah.
in the past and everything. And I, I didn't like Diablo 3, and it strikes me as too much
Mm.
like that. So I've played through it, but it's like I'm. It's not something I feel like I can just dedicate a ton of hours to, and don't really feel like
Uh,
I'm getting anywhere anytime quickly because how it's designed.
yeah. Well, that stinks. Yeah, I played Diablo 3. I don't really remember having an opinion on it at the
Yeah.
time. I was fine. I know I played a ton of Diablo 2, right? Because
Oh
that was the
yeah.
big
I still like
hotness
Diablo
back in
too.
the
Yeah.
day. Yeah, it's still
Yeah.
fun as heck, and
Yeah.
just sort of like getting together with friends and just
Right.
clicking away for a few hours.
Yeah.
Good stuff. But too bad. I haven't picked that one up yet, but I was
Yeah.
yeah, I've got friends who are playing it. I got a friend who's already beaten it
Yeah.
by this point, and maybe I will. I have to get a new computer soon. I think that's my first
Oh,
priority.
sure. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
it. How old's your computer now?
Like 5 years old. 5 years old.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
6 years
I
old.
it's
Yeah.
it's amazing the difference. Every new, game coming out, it's designed for computers, like 2 years
Yeah.
old, so
Yeah.
anything else, it's like this, my podcast computer here that we're using, this is my old game computer because it really couldn't run any games. I bought a new laptop
Oh,
instead that could
yeah.
run everything. And
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
so it's, but yeah, but this machine I've had for 9 years. So it was really good when I got it, but,
Yeah.
built, but
Yeah. Same.
how it is now. But I did get another thing this weekend, and my
Mm,
wife was
okay.
cracking up when I went to pick it up. I bought a mannequin.
All right.
I bought a mannequin.
Okay.
Some guy was
You just went
selling
down
a
to Mannequins R Us and picked up a
well,
mannequin.
I actually was looking at Amazon, those places, and they were all really
Sure.
not very good. I've been looking
Hmm.
at Facebook Marketplace for when people post a good one at a decent price, and I got one, and
Yeah.
my friend Mando
And it.
got to
Yeah.
get dressed up.
Yeah. That's great.
So anyway, I've been, I had the helmet on my shelf for a long time, and I
Hmm.
had this outfit, and in fact, um, I actually want to adjust the outfit a little bit to be able to wear it more comfortably. I've been looking
Right.
at
Okay.
some
Fair enough.
kits for attaching the armor. It's that it doesn't attach very easily now. Basically, one person can't do it, and I want to set it up. So
Hmm.
I don't want to have somebody else dress me. Come on. Um,
Wasn't that the dream though?
well, no, that's when you're a kid.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Or
Okay.
when
No,
you're really
I was thinking like a
old.
royal, like a noble.
Okay, yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I
I
mean?
guess that.
Having valets come in and clip all of your buckles
Yeah,
and belts and whatnot.
I guess I'm closer to the other stuff than that, and that's why.
Yeah, fair enough.
Oh,
Are you gonna get a Baby Yoda for that
you
and
know
carry
what?
around?
I've been looking for one. I've seen some really kinda cool, videos where they have, they're like little shorts with Mando talking to Yoda doing weird stuff, and there's, like, some sorta animatronic Yoda that can do really
Ooh,
simple movements and things. Um, so I don't know. I haven't looked into it that much, but yes,
okay.
yes, I want to get a Baby Yoda,
Sure, you
a
gotta get a
Grogu,
Grogu.
a Grogu
You
to
gotta get a Grogu.
go with it. Yes,
He's so cute.
I think so. That would definitely make. But my goal for this year, Halloween's on a Tuesday. I teach
Okay.
on a Tuesday. I want to wear my
Oh,
Mando outfit to teach for Halloween.
okay.
So
Okay, we have time for this. We have a lot of time. We have enough. I think we have enough time to also go to your classroom early and rig up some sort of pulley system so you can just fly in on some jump jets.
oh, shoot, no, so it's got a
No.
drop ceiling. It's not gonna work.
Oh,
Not gonna
okay.
work.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
that would be okay. You know how I could do this is I could have it on the screen. I could be hiding behind the podium and have
Okay.
fly in and then pop up. Oh,
I
that
like that. I like
that
that.
would
That's
be
pretty
that would be
good.
wild, wouldn't it? Oh man. Oh no. Yeah, when we were remote because of the pandemic. I have a Luke Skywalker outfit, and I
Okay.
taught that with a blue screen of me in an X-wing, and so I taught the whole class looking like I was flying an X-wing. And it's hard because the helmet's really kind of
Yeah,
heavy and that makes you sweat. But I stuck it out. So
fair enough. Good job.
anyway, so well for today,
Yeah.
let's talk about your pistol dancer,
Right, yeah.
and more importantly, let's talk about designing fighting styles as well. How's that sound?
Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds good. I want to sort of like talk a little bit about this. I want to talk a little bit about what I would do differently with it now, but
Nice.
in
Yeah.
design terms, development terms, I should say. But
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, you're running us through to Defy the Dragon right now,
Mhm.
and so you got to make a 10th level character right off the bat, and I've been sort of like wanting to try out something. I don't play a ton of Starfinder. This is good for me to get in there and play some stuff that, in a lot of ways, that I've maybe worked on one way or another just for fun. Um, and yeah, I made a Yosoki soldier called Sidestep, and he's got two pistols and he shoots them a lot. That's basically what I built him to do. He moves very fast. He's got a
Yep.
move of 50 feet because of my I took fleet, and then like by 10th level you get a secondary fighting style, and I took blitz for that for the extra
Mhm.
initiative and for the speed. And I was nearly finished the character before I remember there was actually a feat called sidestep, and I was like, oh. I named him first because I was like, "Oh, let
Yeah.
me think about something about moving around."
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
and I named him that, and then I forgot there was a feat with the same name, and so I nearly forgot to take it, but I managed to wedge it in there. So would have been embarrassing. But I've got the usual stuff. I got the mobility. I got the slippery shooter. Right. I got all the stuff that keeps me tries to keep me safe
Right.
um, from
Because your
from
primary pistol is even up close, right? You don't
yeah.
you don't you don't drop for a melee weapon when you're up close. You're still shooting.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I could let's talk about step one of what happens when you take the pistol dancer fighting style is that you can also you're sort of you're better at them, but you also get to use them as melee weapons if
Right.
you want to. They act as battle gloves, I think, of an appropriate level.
Mhm.
However, sidestep doesn't have a whole lot of strength,
Right.
so it wouldn't be advantageous to try to bash some people with them. I guess if I get desperate, that's probably what I'll end up doing. I also should probably program a roll 20 macro to do that because it's not currently in there. That's why you got all up in my face just the other week, and I was like, I should punch. I haven't punched with my face. I was like, I haven't programmed that yet. I'll just shoot. It's just
Yeah.
easier for me to just press the shoot button and hope for the best. Um, but it's meant to be, so the soldier class is sort of designed to be more into long arms and heavy weapons, right? They're just
Right.
meant to be the more damage output, right? So, an operative is sort of the small arms one that does more damage with that. Um, but there was a time when we were sort of looking at the back matter for the Chimera mystery, first volume of Threefold Conspiracy, when I wanted to do stuff that was sort of like about espionage and spies and sort of vaguely related stuff, right? Like that feats you could take so that without giving away the game of what the rest of the AP was about, essentially having this back matter. So I talked to our good friend Crystal Frazier, and she's like, "Oh, I love the game Ninjas and Super Spies. Can I just write that article?" I'm like, "Yeah, write Ninjas and Super Spies for Starfinder, basically, right?" And she really wanted to do the old gun kata thing
Mhm.
from Equilibrium, right?
Yeah.
Got to have a gun kata. It's like, oh yeah, make that a fighting soldier style, to sort of focusing on these small arms, which is something that soldiers aren't really focused on to do. And she wrote that, you're shooting, you want to shoot multiple times, you want to shoot multiple people at the same time, and I wanted to try it out.
Yeah, it's kinda neat, looking at the different abilities, the naming, Pistol
Mhm.
Dancer, and then first level, you get Small Arm Tango,
Yes, it's
you
a good.
know?
The names are so good, and
Yeah, they're
that's all the
awesome,
crystal. Yeah,
you know? And, then Staccato Strut, 5th level,
hmm
Ricochet Waltz, uh, I don't know, it could have been a little better. Ricochet
It
Waltz?
doesn't. It's not as alliterative, and
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, the
unfortunately.
Pistol Pirouette at 13 sounds good. And then
which is
choreography
I'm
and
sad
death,
I'm
you
never
know?
gonna get that. Yeah,
Yeah, I know. Well, in this game, we finish at 12, which
yeah.
is unfortunate.
So
But
I
in
might
the
not get
next
to that,
game
but
is when we continue this, maybe you can start at 12 and go to 13.
maybe, yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
We'll see. So what I'm finding as I'm playing this is I'm getting a little more like, I would have done this a little differently
yeah,
had I had maybe some sort of uh, thought about it a little more. Because the thing about the idea of the gun kata does have a little more movement in it than
right.
usual, right? And when you full attack in Starfinder, you don't get to go anywhere. And coming up from like actually playing a little Pathfinder Second Edition, I wanted to. The first combat we had on the ground, I literally wanted to move once and then to shoot twice. Right? I had full Pathfinder Second Edition
Yes.
brain for that. I was like, oh, I can't do that. Oh, and I've got a 50-foot movement speed, so like I want to move around a lot and I want to shoot a lot, but I can't do both simultaneously. So thinking back on that, I would do. There's a couple things I would change. Um, sort of that name Ricochet Waltz. I get it, and the power is also a little not great at ninth level. I do like using the a small arm tango gives you a sleight of hand as a class skill. That's fine. But it also lets you basically reload small arms as a swift action, which is great because you're going to need a lot
Hmm.
of bullets, and then use the gun as a
Battle glove.
battle
Right.
glove. Right.
Yeah. So that's
Some good stuff. That's fine at first level. I
yeah.
think that's great. And at fifth level, if you're shooting full action and full attack, I should say, and you target two different people, you reduce the penalty by one. Now, I wasn't thinking at the time. I don't think I thought about Soldier's Onslaught at the time,
Right.
which lets you attack three times. And so,
Right.
does this power make you target three different people or not? Right. Otherwise, it doesn't work. So there's a little bit of trickiness there. I would just basically say like something. I would probably reword this in terms of the number of extra people you target reduces it by that many. So at um, Soldier's Onslaught, if you do target three different people, then you get the penalty reduced to this by three.
Wow.
I think that's how I would do it. No,
That would be really big.
no, two by two. By
Yeah.
whoever actually by two. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it'd be like if you target two people, it's reduced by one. If you target three people, it's reduced by two. And
Wow.
I
That's
don't know
that would
something.
be pretty substantial too with Soldier's Onslaught. So
Yeah.
'cause that's
Or I would do
yeah.
something,
Yeah.
or to do something with this one, or to say that instead of maybe changing the penalty, say like when you make a full attack, you get to do a little movement with it, right? Maybe
Hmm.
you get a 10-foot movement, or move up to half your speed, or something like that. That isn't necessarily a guarded step movement. Like it's not
Right.
protected movement. You might still get hit in the head as you walk by, but something like that, I would probably add a little more movement in it. Or I would maybe move that to Ricochet Waltz because it's Ricochet Waltz says when you fight defensively, you double the bonus to your armor class against attacks from small arms and long arms, which is such a narrow thing
Right.
that I don't think I'm ever going to actually use it.
Hmm. Hmm.
Because fighting defensively is also a power. Yeah, minuses to your armor to hit, right?
Right. Attack rolls. Yeah.
Um, so I would probably think about do something else with that. So maybe around here too would be for you and for you only. Weapon specialization isn't half your level; it's full. It's like regular full level, right?
Right. That would be kind
Because
of
with
cool.
small arms, and you only get half your level in with weapon special, but with long arms and heavy weapons, it's full bonus. And the reason for that is I think mainly because of operatives,
Right. Right.
because they can use small arms and they or at least have the operative one. It's all small arms, and they get a big chunk of bonus when they trick attack. So I'd probably do those two things. I'd probably switch somewhere in fifth and ninth level, some combination of that. A little bit of extra
Hmm.
damage through weapon special, a little bit of movement through with your full attack. Although everything else on this I do like.
Well,
13th level is you get to just kind of just do the gun kata thing
yes.
and just do a death blossom.
Right.
Um, I'm partially what I'm thinking too. I'm sorry, I'm bouncing all over the place here, but
No,
like
no.
I just recurred to me is that Reaper from Overwatch, his ultimate is basically what I want this
Right.
soldier fighting style to be, right? It's just like bah, 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 but he has two shotguns or one, whatever. So they're short range anyway, but still something like that. Pistol pirouette lets you basically shoot in a big circle, get everybody essentially the same as automatic fire. You'd use up all your bullets, whatever.
That's really good
Uh,
for 13th level because usually
yeah,
that sort of thing is the 17th level for a lot of classes where you can do lots of damage to lots of critters or
yeah,
whatever. So,
and it, you don't get, it's a fun area of effect. You have
mhm.
to. It's only like within a short distance, right? It's not like the full weapon range increment, but it is pretty wide. Gets you a lot of people. If you get surrounded, blah 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 bam. And then the 70th level, I think it's probably fine. That's something I would have to do a little more testing on, I guess. See if it is good for like you're just getting +2 bonus, just doing
Right.
a little more damage, more damage, more damage. The longer the fight goes on, that being said, I think it's probably okay, because as we all know that Starfinder fights don't go on super long. That's the
Unless
sort of
somebody's
Solarian
got,
problem.
yeah, if somebody's got like improved invisibility and nobody can see them, then it goes long.
Sure,
Otherwise,
yes,
or
something like
some
that.
sort of
Yeah,
concealment, as we saw, right?
yeah,
That
yeah,
otherwise it goes pretty
yeah,
quick. Three
yeah.
rounds, I'd say
3 rounds, and that's
is long. Yeah,
the sort of Solarian problem
yeah,
with
yes,
Starfinder is that it's
yeah,
just that
yeah, yeah.
they can maybe get it on, but then they only get one.
Right. For their
And then
big
maybe that's
thing,
okay. But yeah, well, they're the big three round thing. Having to build up to the 3 rounds just to
right?
the when the fight is over. So anyway, that's sort of like generally what my build is. I have conserving fusion. I should mention I have conserving fusions on my gun, of course, because when I miss, I don't want to waste a bullet. I know
Mhm.
you're not as of a big of a stickler with the tracking the ammo, but I'm tracking it,
Right,
just so you
because you
know.
have the ability to do a swift action to reload. So you want to
Yeah,
do it.
and I took quick draw and quick.
Yeah,
That's quick. It's not quick, but I took quick draw, so I'm like I can get my
yeah,
stuff out pretty quick. Um, and I think it's working okay. For the most part, I just as
yeah.
long as I can stay away from people, just stay back.
Well, there's interesting when you first started playing it, I kept thinking it was an operative because the way you were playing, and remember
Yeah,
I would say, "Oh yeah, so is that your target of your trick attack?" No, 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 I'm not an operative. I'm a
I'm not
pistol
an
master.
operative.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's a soldier using pistols. That's so crazy.
You know what? I just realized I have an MO apparently when playing Paizo games. I, for some reason, will play a character that takes an archetype or does something weird that makes me look like a different character class.
Oh yeah.
Way back when we played like through 1.5 volumes of Hell's Rebels. I was playing a Magus, but I wanted to be an opera. I know it's like he's an opera singer, and so I did um whatever Magus thing, whatever archetype that lets you basically make a different your different ability, your core ability,
Oh
and
okay.
so
Right.
I
Right.
made
Right.
it charisma.
Oh
So I was
wow.
an opera singer. I was a diva. I was like
Yeah.
up and coming opera singer who just got involved with this rebellion, who knew a little magic and he could fence because that's how he was taught how to fence through stage combat. And everyone was like,
You're
"You're a
Bard.
bard, right?" I'm like, "I'm
Yeah.
not a bard.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would be, I'm just here to make us around." Um, yeah, I think that was what I did. And then I think I was playing another character that made me like a ended up being like an occultist that ended up working a bit more like a druid or something. It was some weird combination that didn't. It was like, what are you playing? I'm just playing
Yeah.
the character that I'm playing a
Yeah.
different character class basically,
Yeah.
and now I'm
Yeah.
playing the soldier that plays like an operative.
Yeah. Well, so there's a couple of things I'll ask you,
Yeah,
and maybe you can do something about these. In terms of the movement, you have a haste circuit?
I didn't have enough money for that.
Oh, well,
That's a
you
good point.
should have money now, and you have a quartermaster there. They're
I
pretty
should get a
cheap.
haste circuit.
You
Yeah,
get movement plus bonus movement, so you get 90 then if you have 60 now, 90 feet of movement and a full attack. That's like that's exactly what you wanna
yeah.
do. So it seems like
That's
that would
kind
be
of
yeah,
definitely what I want to do. I don't know why
yeah,
I didn't like. I took the time to get the jump. I spent
yeah.
the money on the jump jet so I could fly, just in case I needed to get out of places. I didn't think about the haste circuit.
That's
Good
good
point.
if you like the full attack as a soldier. The haste circuit
Yeah,
doesn't do the operative as much benefit, right? You get a little bit more movement out of that. But for a
yeah,
soldier that wants a full attack, I think that's awesome. And then you mentioned about the extra damage, the getting level basically.
yeah.
You could take double tap as a feat. Are you familiar with that?
Hmm. Double tap. I think I might have looked at it. I ended up taking the other one. What's the other one? Like Deadly Game, which I'm never probably ever going to use, but I should think about it. Yeah.
Yeah, so basically it increases your damage like a um,
Right. Yeah.
full level. It uses up twice as much ammo, which is perfect for you because you want to keep track of your ammo. And this is a big reason to build as a swift action reload because you're just
Yeah.
blowing through so much ammo. Anyway,
Yeah. Okay. That's. I mean, yes, it does sort of. It's not the. I mean, it does. It's when there's one person left, right?
yeah,
Then I can like double tap, and I can like, with GM's permission, say that I'm doing this instead of doing this. For
sure.
for the listeners, I went 2 guns instead of 1 gun twice, right?
Yes. Yes. So something like that. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's just given how you want to build your or play your character. I think those are things. And given that we're gonna level, we have leveled, but I don't think we've
Yeah.
done anything with it, right? So
No, we
level up.
we played the last session was us at level 11.
Oh, it was already. Oh, you're out of luck
Yeah.
then with the feet. Uh,
Well, here's the thing. I somehow didn't take weapon focus until just now.
oh well,
So now
yeah,
I need that for this.
yeah,
I might go and see if we have enough money for a little bit of a tiny respec.
yeah. Sure, we can. Yeah, you. I mean, actually, you should have enough money for that. I
Do a
think
little
to
mnemonic editing,
yeah, I think so. I'm just we're talking about this particular build, and these are I'd like pistols on envoys and non-soldiers and
Mhm.
stuff, and these are just things I always do with those characters. So that's why I
That's
was
fair.
thinking,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, double. I always take double tap because
That's good.
I don't want to do the spend the 2 feats to get a long arm and long arm specialization on an
Yeah.
envoy or something when I could
Mm,
just
yeah,
carry a
yeah.
pistol and and do that. So anyway,
That's good.
yeah,
I mean, I'm by no means a min maxer. I'm sure there's a different way
yeah.
that I could have made this character to
Oh,
be,
probably, yeah.
uh,
But I'm just
way
thinking the way
better
you
than
want
it
to
is,
play
but,
it. It
like,
just sounds like
yeah,
yeah,
perfect.
or
Thank you,
something
John.
like that. Sure. I wish you'd said this before because we could have taken care of it earlier, but at least we got to it
Yeah,
now before
we
our
got
next
to it.
game.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say, you talked about developing this. I was able to develop a couple of fighting styles.
Mhm. Yeah.
And one of them I'll just talk about briefly because I actually have never played it. I've only seen somebody else play it so far. Somebody in playing Horizons of the Vast, and we're just started book 5, and so Scott Kime is playing an
Mm.
archer fighting style, and I made archer. And the interesting thing, so in Galactic Magic, they added a spell brawler and an archer. Um,
Mm.
the spell brawler makes sense for Magic,
Yeah.
um, Galactic Magic. The archer,
Yeah.
um, they just wanted to bring in because archer's such a big thing in fantasy games. I guess they just wanted to bring it
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, I guess so. Something about,
Yeah,
magic and elves and bows and stuff,
yeah, it's something like that.
I guess.
Um,
Yeah.
so anyway, so I had a lot of fun putting it together, and I was really excited to see
Mhm.
Scott play that. In part because I made some really cool bows too, but he had to get like to 5th level. I made these apocalypse bows because I
Oh,
really like
yeah. Those are
apocalypse
good.
crystals on Solarians. And I thought, oh
Mhm.
man, if I can make a bow that does force effect damage, how cool would that be? And so
It's pretty cool.
I made the apocalypse bows for that. Um, but a lot of the skills, the ideas I got for the archer, not skills, the feats, the fighting style stuff. Gear boot.
Yeah.
What do they call it again?
They
Fighting.
are what now are they called?
Uh, it's a
Fighting styles. Techniques.
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 Yeah.
They're
So
called techniques.
a lot of the things that you get were things from the Rangers I played in Guild Wars. They had a lot of
There
stuff,
you go.
so for if you're fighting in
Mhm.
close, for like melee range or things like that. And so I went and said, okay, what are some cool things that we have in this video game that I would love to play as an archer? And so I've made an archer, but he's only like 2nd level, so I haven't done a lot of this stuff. But his name is
Mhm.
Clinton Barton, and I'm going
Neh.
to play him, just like Hawkeye. Um,
You
but
mean
yeah,
you're gonna get beat up a lot?
Yes, pretty much, and then run out of arrows and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. He's just a guy. Um, but yeah, so in here, so your level 13 was your pistol pirouette. Here, the
Yeah.
level 13 is fistful of arrows. Right, as a full
There you
action, you
go.
can draw, notch, and fire copious arrows in one motion, making an attack as though your bow had the automatic or line weapon specialty. So kind of a
That's pretty good. Yeah. Yeah.
similar thing, to that. So anyway, I just kind of wanted to
No,
bring up
that it
that.
looks fun. Yeah. It looks good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
I
big,
mean, you get the ability to shoot up close with every
yeah,
better armor class, and getting the proficiency is good, and weapon special at ninth level. That's good too. Yeah. 1.5. Nice.
yeah. So I mean, it just um, what I guess the issue. This is what I'm saying with it with Scott is that if you want to do more damage, you got to buy more expensive arrows. And
Hmm.
so, ammo is pretty cheap for most classes. You buy bullets or you
Yeah.
buy charges or whatever. Arrows can really scale up a lot in damage. So when you're 20th level, you can get super powerful arrows that do boatloads of damage, but they cost you and then they're gone, they're
Yeah.
consumed. And
Yeah.
so finding some way around that, it would be cool if there's something in Starfinder Enhanced that addressed that, but I don't
Yeah.
know.
Mhm.
Don't have no
Yeah.
idea. But that's the biggest thing that he's kind of he has to decide, is this thing I'm attacking worth this special, the Pim arrow or whatever, because I
Right.
only
Yeah.
got so many of these things and they're so expensive because Tony Stark isn't providing to me. I got to buy them myself, right? Kind of
Right.
situation. Um, yeah, I always wondered what Hawkeye did before he joined the Avengers. He had to make all those arrows, and
He just made them, I
yes,
guess. I
I
don't know.
get they weren't near
You
as
don't really see a
fancy.
lot of like
Yeah,
fancy, super fancy. I mean, he worked for
yeah.
Shield. Maybe Shield gave him
Well,
some stuff, right?
originally he was a carny and he was an outlaw, and
But yes.
yeah, I mean back in the day. Then he got recruited
Yeah.
in and
Yeah.
stuff. So maybe he got fancier arrows as he
As
went
a
along.
Shield agent.
Yes, probably,
Yeah.
probably.
So I feel like there's something that might you could adapt, that might be from Pathfinder. I swear there's some quiver equivalent
Oh,
that says basically like
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
you put like a rune on the quiver, and then every arrow you pull out of it has that rune on attached to it or
Right.
something like that. Oh no, you know what it is? It's some bandolier for throwing knives. Basically, there's something pretty
Oh,
recent.
yeah,
I think it might even be in Treasure Vault. It's pretty recent, but
yeah,
like something like that where somehow I know it's not the same in Starfinder. You don't necessarily put the fusions
yeah.
on. You won't need a ton of fusions on these arrows, but like something like when you have X number of arrows in there, they all do the damage as if you had spent, on the good, the big ones.
Hmm, hmm.
You built buy this one item to cut down the price on having to buy all these consumables. As long as you have one of the big guy in there that you do buy with your own money, it replicates it or something.
Oh, I like that. Okay, okay. Because I'm running an AP and I can homebrew
Yeah,
whatever I want into it. I
exactly.
I will work out something like that. It had not occurred to me that there might be a way to quell his complaining. So
Yeah, I mean, hey, we're helping each other out
I
here. You
know
help me
this
out,
is
John.
good. This
I'll
is
help you
good.
out.
I should
Yeah.
work on that. That's great.
Let me see if I can no, it's called a bandolero. I'm running through Outlaws of Alchemstar, and
Yeah.
one of my players took it and was like, can I put bombs in here? Because I'm an adventurer with an
Yeah.
alchemist,
Yeah.
like a sub, as a multiplayer. I'm like, yeah, we could do that. We can figure something out. You're not gonna abuse it, so yeah, it works that way. Bandolier, that's the word I'm looking for. Um, Thrower's bandolier
Thrower's bandolier.
in P2, yeah.
All right.
But it's mainly for thrown weapons,
Yeah.
obviously, so that you can do a bunch of like because that's always the holy grail in a lot of ways for at least Pathfinder game for Paizo games is the throwing build. People
Mhm.
want to be able to like chuck a bunch of knives, do gambit or whatever, right? Or chuck a bunch of magic or something like that. That it never quite lives up to. Oh, I could just get a sword and hit him with a sword, right? So this is an attempt to sort of make that a little better.
Yeah, no, I like this to be able to do different things, and Starfinder, actually, I use a star knife with a returning
Mm,
fusion,
yeah,
and or called either one, and so then you have a throwing weapon that you can chuck, and some of the
yeah,
higher level ones you can throw up to 50 feet, which is kind of nice,
yeah,
and but a throwing master in Starfinder would be kind of fun too, where you could do some
definitely.
extra things. I have to think about that one.
Think about that one. I don't know if there's any P2 archetype that is similar to that, but does that, but I'm sure there will be eventually.
Yes,
Or someone
yes,
has done it on Infinite, I'm sure.
yeah. Well, maybe not. Maybe we
Maybe
could
not.
be the ones. I don't know.
Hey.
So, cool, cool. There was something else that you had mentioned earlier before. Talk about video games coming out. Talked about these things
Yeah.
here. Oh, yes. Be calm.
Mando.
No, be calm. What did be
Oh,
calm do?
BCom. Oh, yeah, yes, that's right. Sorry. They there's been a lot of the video game trailers, yeah, and they put out their trailer for the game that's coming out first, sooner. That was really hush hush, which is called Gallowspire Survivors,
Hmm.
which is a take on Vampire Survivors. And I don't know if you ever played Vampire Survivors.
I have not.
It's a fun game. It's a surprisingly fun game, and it's very very simple graphics, but and very simple gameplay. But it'll suck you in for hours, right? And they're doing something similar to that. When the conceit is so the way that both these games work. So there's a genre called bullet hell, right? I'm sure you're familiar with it. You're trying to like lots of bullets coming everywhere, and you just try to avoid them and shoot back. This is sort of the opposite of that, where you are putting out just things. You're just putting out damage against the baddies, and they're coming at you. And then as you do them, you pick up the XP and you level up what kind of stuff you throw at them or whatever. And Vampire Survivors is like garlic and holy water and knives and whips and stuff like that. But I'm sure in this Gallowspire Survivors is going to be magic. You play one of the three characters, a fighter, a rogue, or a wizard, and I'm sure it'll be like magic or knives or big sweeping sword slices, and you just have
Right.
so many enemies on the screen that you're just cutting through, and it looks like it's a lot of fun. So I'm definitely
Wow. Yeah.
gonna
So
want to check that one out.
this is like Game of Thrones out there in the ice, right? Did you watch Game of Thrones?
I did. I'm trying to remember what you're referring.
So they're out in the ice, and they're in the north, and they're like up on a rock, and there's like a frozen pond around, and all the zombies are all
Oh yeah,
around it because they know
yeah,
they
yeah, yeah.
can't go in water. And then
Oh
somebody
right, yeah, yeah.
throws a rock out of the way out there, and they realize that the water is solid. And then and so there's like 10 or
Oh wow,
13 of them. They're
yeah, yeah,
all fighting, and it's same kind of thing.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the first thing that
Uh,
came to mind when you talked
that
about
scene
that.
eluded me.
Yes.
Um,
Tough.
this one, so the Pathfinder version of this is going to be a little different because you can also bring one of the other characters with you, and I guess they level up as you or have them as a friend.
Oh,
So that's
okay.
pretty cool. That's
Yeah.
not the Pathfinder. The Vampire Survivors one is just you're out there by yourself. But there's so many things you can unlock, and who knows what other thing what other gameplay mechanics they're going to have for this
Right.
game. And
Yeah.
and 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 it's all about trying to keep Tarbafon from rising, which obviously we know he gets out of Gallowspire, so this is
Right.
a doomed ending. But it'll be fun nonetheless.
Yeah, no, that's good. So was this is not part of the Kickstarter that they're doing then?
No,
This
this
is
is a completely different game that they
wow.
have, I think, mostly done because it's supposed to come out at like
Is it
Gen Con or something like
says
that.
plan release 2023. So yeah.
Yeah, maybe it'll
Oh,
be the fall. And yeah, so
wow. No, that's
it's pretty cool.
interesting. Yeah, that so they had the other thing there because they've been getting a lot of backers for that
Hmm.
for the game that they're
Abomination Vaults.
Abomination Vaults have on there, which I have mixed feelings about playing, because
Okay.
I'm playing it right now, and then to play it as a
Oh,
video game, I don't know how will I will I be disappointed in the video game, or will I have think, "Oh,
Hmm.
man, I missed out on so much when I played it in Theater of the Mind," or, whatever,
Hmm. Who knows? It's gonna be different. It's gonna be
Yeah.
you're gonna get to play it as a different class maybe, like, if
Yeah.
whatever you're playing in your home game, play it as, the opposite, play as a Miri or Kyra or
Yeah.
something.
That's
Yeah.
true, and it's just with iconics that you can play it with.
Yeah.
So, until somebody writes a mod and you can put whatever character you want in there.
Sure, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it based on the Unreal Engine? I haven't even I didn't even
I don't
check
know.
that out. Yeah,
I
there's
didn't
a
check
lot of
that out
mods for
either.
that. I
Hmm.
Anyway. Well, cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's exciting. Yeah, you mentioned Mando. One of the things I talked about is that we could discuss specking out Mando just because Mando's top of mind now, and that
Sure, yeah.
freaks out all my animals, by the way, to have this guy standing back here.
Oh,
So,
no.
yeah. Um, but maybe next time, maybe
Okay.
we could think about this is something that other podcasts on the network, Legend Lore, they like to
Sure.
spec out something in particular,
Yeah.
and Louis used to do it, like to do it quite a bit, and I thought, well, I'm a big fan of Mando, and so actually, earlier this afternoon, I built out what I thought a Mando could be,
Okay.
but I didn't realize he could also be a pistol dancer, but no,
I want a second
yeah,
version of the
yeah,
fighting style when that
yeah.
comes out, maybe.
Yeah. But maybe next time we could maybe pick
Sure,
a
yeah.
couple things and walk through it.
Sounds good.
Well, I'm John.
And I'm Jason, and this has been Digital Divination.